It was raining that night, the kind of rain that blurs the city into a blur of color and regret. Officer Matthew Cole had been on duty for 12 hours straight. He just wanted to get home. But then, dispatch crackled through his radio. Suspicious mail. Dark hoodie. Possible connection to the Colebrook assault case. He sighed. Another call. Another shadow to chase. He switched on his lights, not knowing he was driving straight into a mistake that would follow him for the rest of his life. Before we dive in, don't forget to like this video, hit the subscribe button, and tell me in the comments section where you are watching from. Now let's begin. The man fit the vague description, mid-20s, dark hoodie, walking fast through the storm. Cole stepped out of his car, hand near his holster. Hey, stop right there. Hands where I can see them. The man turned around slowly, startled. His name was Jamal Rivers, a diner worker heading home after his late shift. He raised his hands, trembling. Officer, I didn't do anything. Cole's pulse quickened. Every instinct told him something was off. He'd been trained to react fast, to see danger before it saw him. Hands up, he said sharply. Now. Jamal nodded, his voice breaking. Sir, please. My wallet's in my pocket. I'll show you my ID. But when his hand moved, Cole's fear took over. He drew his gun. For a few seconds, time froze. The rain slowed. The world held its breath. Jamal's eyes widened not with guilt, but disbelief. You're making a mistake, he whispered. Cole's finger tightened slightly. Then something dropped into the puddle between them, a phone. Jamal hadn't reached for a weapon. He'd been recording. The dash cam, the body cam, the phone all captured it. Cole's voice shaking. The gun. The fear. The silence. He hadn't fired, but that didn't matter. A gun doesn't need to fire to ruin a life. Sometimes, it just needs to be drawn. By the next morning, the video was everywhere. Officer threatens unarmed black man. Another case of police abuse. The department called it a misunderstanding. The public called it something else. Protests. Headlines. Endless debate. But for Jamal, the noise wasn't justice, it was chaos. He lost his job. The diner said they didn't want the attention. He couldn't walk home without someone pointing, whispering, or recording. And for Cole suspended, under investigation, it wasn't punishment that hurt the most. It was memory. The look in Jamal's eyes. The quiet plea. You're making a mistake. 3 months passed. Rain again. Same street. Cole sat in his car, staring at the intersection that had destroyed 2 lives. He couldn't sleep. Couldn't let it go. Every shift, every quiet night. He replayed it all, wondering if he'd ever been a good cop at all. Then, out of nowhere, gunshots. Screaming. Cole snapped back to instinct. He ran toward the sound. Inside a corner store, 2 masked men were yelling at the cashier. One had a gun. Cole raised his weapon. Drop it. Police. And then, someone moved between them. Unarmed. Shielding the cashier. It was him. Jamal Rivers. For a heartbeat, they both froze. You again? Jamal said, breathless. Cole couldn't process it. The man he'd once accused, now saving someone's life. Get down, Cole shouted. But it was too late. A shot rang out. Cole fired back, hitting one of the robbers. The other ran. Then came the silence. Cole turned and saw Jamal fall. Blood on the floor. Jamal clutching his side. Cole dropped beside him, panic flooding his voice. Stay with me. Come on, stay with me. Jamal's eyes flickered open. I told you, he whispered, faint smile breaking through the pain. You made a mistake. His voice faded. The sirens grew louder. Hours later, Cole sat outside the hospital, soaked, shaking. The shooting was ruled justified. They said he did everything right this time. But, right, didn't feel like redemption. It felt like guilt. He started visiting the hospital every day, never going inside, just standing outside Jamal's room, listening to the beeping monitors through the glass. Then one evening, he finally walked in. Jamal's mother was there. Tired eyes. No anger, no hate, just truth. You see now, don't you? She said quietly. Cole nodded. He took off his badge, set it beside the bed. I don't deserve this anymore. From his pocket, he pulled an envelope. I've been digging into what happened that night, he said. The call that sent me to you, it wasn't random. Someone wanted that stop to happen. Jamal's eyes opened slightly. Why? He asked, voice weak. Cole looked down. I don't know, but I'm going to find out. As he left the hospital, the rain had stopped. The city was quiet again, but a black sedan sat idling across the street. A man inside watched him closely, a man wearing a department badge on his lapel. Cole didn't notice. He walked away, his mind set on redemption. The car engine hummed softly, following him at a distance. And in the dark, the watcher spoke into his earpiece. He's starting to ask questions. What do you want me to do? A pause. Then a voice replied, low, cold, and calm. Let him dig. When he gets too close, we'll handle it. Sometimes, the truth doesn't just free you, it hunts you. Officer Cole thought he'd made a mistake. He had no idea. The real crime was still ahead. It had been 3 weeks since the shooting, 3 weeks since Jamal's blood hit the floor of that corner store, 3 weeks since Officer Matthew Cole realized the call that changed both their lives might have been planned. He couldn't sleep anymore. Not because of guilt, but because of questions. Who sent that call? Why Jamal? And what did they want to hide badly enough to use a cop as their weapon? Cole knew one thing: the answer wasn't in the case files. It was inside the department. He started small. Night shifts in empty halls. Pulling old dispatch logs. Cross-referencing call IDs with internal signatures. And that's when he saw it. The call that night, the one labeling Jamal a possible suspect, hadn't come from dispatch at all. It had been routed manually, from a private line inside the precinct. The user ID was hidden under a restricted code. But Cole recognized the timestamp. 9:42 p.m. The same minute his sergeant, Captain Monroe, had been in the communications room. Cole froze. Monroe, the man who'd trained him, defended him in hearings, called him a good cop in a bad storm. If this was real, it meant the setup had come from inside his own command. The next day, Cole went back to the hospital. Jamal was walking again, slow but steady. He looked different, sharper, older somehow, like he'd seen the truth too many times and learned to stop flinching. They cleared me, but I'm not walking away. That call, you were caught in, someone wanted it to happen. Monroe's name came up. So what now? You tell the department their own captain's corrupt? You think they'll believe you? Cole didn't answer. He didn't have to. He knew they wouldn't. Then we find proof. Together. That's when Cole realized the man he once pointed a gun at might be the only one who could help him clean his conscience. They started digging. Jamal had friends, people who knew the underbelly of the city better than any badge. Cole had access to records, to databases, to the places only cops could go. And slowly, a pattern started to form. 5 months earlier, Jamal's diner had been visited by 2 men who weren't there for food. They'd asked questions about a missing drive, something one of the employees had supposedly taken something from a local tech lab. Jamal hadn't thought much of it then. Now, he realized the same 2 men had been listed in an internal police memo as confidential informants. Cole checked the records. Both names linked back to the same place, Project Meridian, a task force unit under Captain Monroe's supervision. But here's the thing, there was no official Project Meridian. No funding, no clearance, no existence. It was a ghost operation. One night, Cole broke into the evidence archive. Old cases, sealed files, dust thick enough to choke a memory. He found a locker marked M102. Inside, unregistered cell phones, cash envelopes, and surveillance stills, one of Jamal outside his diner. Dated 2 days before the stop. Someone had been watching him, setting him up. Cole's stomach twisted. He picked up one of the phones, and it started ringing. He froze, then slowly answered. You should have stayed out of it, officer. Static hissed. Then silence. Cole looked around. The room lights flickered once, then went dark. He drew his gun, but the muzzle flash from outside came first. A bullet cracked through the glass. He dove behind a cabinet, heart hammering. Footsteps echoed in the hallway. Someone was here. Meanwhile, across town, Jamal was in his apartment when his phone buzzed. Unknown number. Text message. You don't know what he's really hiding. Attached was a photo Cole, years ago, in uniform, shaking hands with Monroe beside a confiscated crate labeled Meridian. Jamal's hands shook. Was Cole lying? Or was he part of something bigger he didn't remember? He grabbed his jacket and ran into the rain. Back at the precinct storage wing, Cole moved silently through the dark. One set of footsteps. Then 2. They were sweeping the corridor, tactical, precise. He recognized the sound instantly. Operatives. He slipped behind a steel shelf, holding his breath. They passed by black suits, silencers attached, and on one man's wrist a faint tattoo. The corporate logo. Cole felt cold. He'd seen it before years ago on a contractor linked to private policing contracts. The kind that blurred the line between law and ownership. He wasn't chasing corruption. He was stepping into a cover-up. The next morning, Jamal arrived at Cole's apartment, door broken open, papers scattered, badge missing. On the table, a single note written in Cole's handwriting. Trust no one in uniform. Check the warehouse on Lakeview. They're moving something tonight. Jamal's heart pounded. Lakeview was an abandoned logistics depot. He knew that place. The one from the night of the shooting. The same one where everything had begun. He grabbed his phone, hesitated, then hit record. If I don't make it back, he whispered, tell my mom I found the truth. Night again. The rain returned. Jamal stood outside the warehouse. Lights flickering faintly inside. He crept toward the door, camera rolling. Through the window, he saw men in suits loading crates into trucks. On the side of each crate, stenciled letters. Subject, transfer, Meridian. He zoomed in closer, whispering, what the hell is this? Then a shadow moved behind him. A voice, calm, steady, unmistakable. I told you not to come alone. Jamal spun around, relief flashing in his eyes. You're alive. But before he could finish, a laser appeared on Cole's shoulder. Then another on Jamal's chest. Cole's voice dropped. They know we're here. And from the darkness, the sound of boots closing in. Two men once divided by fear, now standing side by side against something far more dangerous than either ever imagined. The storm wasn't over. It was just beginning.